Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about angle measure. Now for our learning target, I can solve problems involving angle measures and relationship between angles. Okay, so before the angle measure activity, let's have a drill board activity first. This will be a definition review. Now non-adjacent angles that are formed by intersection of two lines, vertical angles. Two angles that have the same measure, congruent angles. Two angles whose measures sum up to 90 degrees, complementary angles. Two angles formed that are adjacent and at the same time supplementary, it's linear pair. Or two coplanar angles that have common vertex and side but no common interior points, adjacent angles. Two angles whose measures sum up to 180 degrees, supplementary angles. Now let's try. Identify the relationship that exists in the given example, then identify the missing angle measure. For our first example, as you can see in the illustration, the relationship exists between the two is a vertical angle. So that means we all know that if the two angles are considered vertical, then that means they do have the same measure or they are congruent. So x is also 64 degrees. Okay, so since we do have the given vertical angle in here, is the other angle is 64 degrees, hence this also measures 64 degrees. Next, in the given illustration, we can say that they are supplementary, right? So it's 140 degrees, so definitely this is 40 degrees, so it would give us a sum of 180 degrees. But apart from that, we can also see that they are adjacent angle. So here we do have common vertex, which is point O. We do have common side, which is ray OB, and they do not have common interior points apart from the common side. Therefore, we can say that they are adjacent. Since they are both adjacent and supplementary, generally, we'll consider this as linear pair. Alright? So, since this one is 140 degrees, the angle BOC, definitely the angle BOA would be 180 minus 140 degrees. So that would be 40 degrees. So again, this one is 40 degrees. So 40 plus 140, it's 180. That's why they are supplementary, or generally they are considered linear pair. Next. Okay, so again, this is a vertical angle. And the angle measure for letter A, that would be 41 degrees as well. Alright, so next, let's solve what is asked. So this time, we're going to apply angle measure. What is the value of x? What is the measure of angle COF, measure of angle COE, and measure of angle BOD? Just like what I mentioned in the previous video, in this kind of problem, usually I would focus with the illustration first before filling in all the questions or answering all the questions in the given task. Now, I will start with identifying or applying the relationship that was discussed before. The most common is the vertical angles, actually. So as you can see, we do have 3x in here for angle COA, and we all know its vertical angle is this one, right? So definitely it's 3x as well. So apart from that, we can also see in here that angle BOF is 5x. And we all know this is the vertical angle of BOF. So that means this is obviously 5x as well, because again, if we do have vertical angles, they are also considered congruent angles. Okay, and lastly, we can see here that angle EOD is 4x, and this angle is vertical to this So definitely if EOD is 4x, this is also 4x. Alright? So now we are able to identify the pair of vertical angles. So we already applied the idea of having vertical angles and congruent angles. Hence, we can now proceed with our equation. So to continue our solution, we can have our equation first. So we all know one complete rotation of an angle means having measure of 360 degrees, right? So definitely I can make an equation instead of having the sum of all the angles in here. Instead, I will go directly with the substitution. So I'll start with this part, this one. I would have 5x and then plus 3x plus 4x plus 5x again for this, and then plus 3x again for this, and plus 4x again for this. So, and we all know if we're going to sum this all up, obviously or supposedly this would give us a 360 degree angle, right? So from that idea, we arrive with this equation, and this is obviously correct. Now, definitely this is correct. Now, next is we are going to sum up all the terms that we have in here, common terms. So we do have 5x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 3x, and 4x. We are going to sum this up. So 5x plus 3x, so that would be 8x, plus 4x, 12x, plus 5x, 17x, plus 3x, that would be 20x already, plus 4x, so that would be 24x. Okay, equals 360 degrees. Okay, next is we are tasked to find out the value of 1x only. So 1x. So here, we would have a 360 degree angle having 24x. But what are we gonna do to find out the value of that particular 1x only? So by algebra, we're just going to divide both sides of our equation by 24 to isolate the variable x. Okay, so 24 divided by 24, that's 1. And we all know 1 times x, that would be x only, or identical to the variable x. So that would be x equals, and then 360 divided by 24. So let's do this manually. So 360 divided by 24. So we have here 1. So 24. And then we subtract 6 minus 4, we have 2. 3 minus 2, we have 1. And then we do have here 0. Bring down 0. And then 120 divided by 24. I think it's 5. Okay, so let's check. 5 times 4, it's 20. Carry 2. 5 times 2, it's 10. Plus 2, it's 120. So that means it's correct. So that means we got this answer 15. Okay, so with the continuation, we're gonna have here x equals 15. So that means for our answer for the value of x, we got this answer, which is x is equal to 15 degrees. So you can put the degree in here, or maybe you can simply have x equals 15. But better if you're going to write your answer completely. Now, what is the measure of angle COF? So, where is angle COF? So, angle COF is this one. Okay, the angle measure is represented by 4x. So, simply, what you're going to do is simply substitute the value of x that we found, and that would be 4x So that means, so if we're going to substitute, that would be 4 times 15, and that would be 60. So 60 degrees. So for our final answer, we're gonna have 60 degrees for measure of angle COF. Alright, moving on to the next question. What is the measure of angle COE? So for measure of angle COE, where is angle COE? So this one. Okay, for angle COE, that is, okay, combination of 3x and 5x. So we're just gonna have 8x, right? So let's have in here 8x, then substitute. Okay, so 8 times 15. We're gonna have that. So 8 times 15, we're gonna have how many? So 120 degrees. So we have 215 is 30, and then 4 is 60, and then 8 is 120. Alright, that's correct. Lastly, we do have measure of angle BOD. Where is BOD? Okay, this one, the 3x. So that means we're gonna have in here 3x. Same manner, we're going to substitute the value of x that we found, which is 15. So that means we're gonna have here 45 degrees for the measure of angle BOD. Alright? Now, one more example. How about this figure? Okay, so same manner, just like I mentioned to you before, I would usually start with analyzing or focusing on the figure given. So if I have line EC, that means the sum of this half circle rotation would be 180 degrees. If I do have already here 62 degrees and 28 degrees, I needed to sum this all up first. I'm gonna have 10, 90 degrees. So basically, if these two angles sum up to 90 degrees, this one is a 90 degree angle. So this is a 90 degree angle, the angle AFB. Okay, moving on. If this is angle AFB is 90 degrees, definitely since we do have a straight line AD, therefore we can also conclude that BFD is also 90 degrees since angle BFC is already 28 degrees. So I would have 90 degrees minus 28 degrees. I would have 10 minus 8, it's 2. This one is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. So that means this is 62 degrees as well. Or, apart from having the solution, you can easily apply as well the idea of vertical angle. Since angle AFE is vertical angle with the CFD, so definitely they are both 62 degrees. That's actually a checking. So 62 degrees, and this one is 62 degrees as well. Alright? And for us to identify, to check if angle EFD is actually 118, you can also sum up 90 degrees and 28 degrees. It's also 118 degrees. So definitely, we got all correct angle measures in here. Hence, we can now proceed with answering the questions one by one. What is the measure of angle AFB? So for angle AFB, we are referring to this one, so that is 90 degrees. Alright? Next, what is the measure of angle CFD? Angle CFD. Okay, so we're referring to this one. CFD, that is 62 degrees. Do not forget to write the unit of measurement for angle measure, and that would be degrees. All right. Next, what is the measure of angle BFD? BFD. So a while ago, it's 28 degrees plus 62 degrees. That would be 90 degrees. And lastly, we have EFB. EFB. So that means we are supposed to add up. So we have E, F, and then B. So we're gonna add up the 62 and 90 degrees, and that would be 152 degrees. So we're done with that. Okay. Now next, let's proceed to this another figure given. So lines M and N are intersecting lines. Angle 1 and angle 5 are complementary angles. Let's find first. Angle 1 and angle 5 are complementary. So definitely, this is also 90 degrees. So since angle 1 plus angle 5 is 90 degrees, so angle 4 is 90 degrees as well. And the measure of angle 1 is 23 degrees. So let's put it here. So it's 23 degrees. Take note of that. So since angle 1 and angle 5 are complementary angles, so that means we're gonna have 90 degrees minus 23 degrees. So definitely, so we're gonna have 10. This one is 8. 10 minus 3, that would be 7. 8 minus 2, that would be 6. So this is, angle 5 is 67 degrees. Now, angle 4 is 90 degrees. And as you can see, angle 1 and angle 3 are considered vertical angles. So definitely, this is 23 degrees as well. And the angle 2, take a look with angle 2. This is angle, this angle is vertical with angle 4 and 5, right? This one. So that means we're just gonna have 90 plus 67. So angle 2 is 157 degrees. Or you can also have this relationship. As you can see, angle 2 and angle 3 are linear pairs. So that means you can also have a solution wherein you're gonna have 180 degrees minus 23 degrees. So you will still have 157 degrees. It's the same answer. So it's gonna be your choice which relationship will you apply first, provided that you will apply it correctly and appropriately. Alright, so I think we're able to identify already the angle measures for each divisions of angles. So now let's proceed with answering the questions one by one. What is the measure of angle 1? So I will write it completely this time. So measure of angle 1 is equal to 23 degrees. It's actually given, right? Next, what is the measure of angle 2? Measure of angle 2 is 157 degrees. And measure of angle 3, measure of angle 3 is 23 degrees. So you see, it's now easier for us to answer each item since we already identified all the necessary data from the figure. So it's easily for us to look into the angle measures for each question. Alright, now going back, what is the measure of angle 4? So angle 4, measure of angle 4 is, we have here, it's 90 degrees. And lastly, for measure of angle 5, we do have 67 degrees. So we're done. I hope you understand how did we come up with this particular answers. So based on the figures given. Now that's all for this video. Thank you so much. Hope that you've learned a lot from this video, and see you on our next video lesson. Thank you.